for the topic today. It's more to do with adultery and what is considered right, what is considered right, and what is considered wrong, and then based on what. Okay. Anyway, this has been it's been I've seen this yesterday and it's been going on like I've been thinking about it for too long. So I thought I'm just going to talk about it today. And I thought I'll leave it, but it keeps on bothering me. And the reason why I'm doing it as well as the truth of Goma is because approach it as in I can't approach it as in uh, like talking about it as is something that I understand it very well, as in to talk about it properly as a healer, because it's something that your ancestors have to really give you something for you to bring something out, right? Anyway, this is based on this question that someone said. Okay, if you have a boyfriend, okay, who is married, right? So this is based on that. If you have a boyfriend who is married, so that means you're dating someone who is already married, right? So someone answered this and they said, okay, they answered the question, and as well they brought in they said stop with adultery kind of thing, like stop adultery. And I liked this person's reply. I liked their reply because, it gave a lot of that. And the truth, someone being honest like that is something to be, I know that, um, considering the way that someone already said something else, and someone would have, if you think about it, someone would have been angry and replied in an angry way. But she didn't. And she said, I know it is wrong. However, this man is assisting me with so many things since I have been struggling for years, like as in a way, like without him or whatever, I wouldn't be able to be where I am at this particular moment. I'm not adding up my words because I don't want to just get it out as in the way that they put it out there. But it was more to do with, I know it will sound like an excuse, but it is the truth. So I liked the way that I liked the way that she replied, right? I like the way she replied because it's not easy to accept something like that, and especially if you're being judged as well, and to acknowledge that bit as well, like yes, I know that it is wrong and stuff like that. But now it made me think about a lot of things that what are we actually basing um, adultery on? The reason why I'm saying that, what framework are we using for morality bit of things, right? What framework are we using, and in what context, and which belief as well? So if you're saying someone is remember, this is a touchy subject. That's why I'm doing it with the truth of God. I don't have to do it with um, putting it out there. That's I'm doing something about this. It's doing something with this, right? So if you think someone is doing something that is immoral or is not morally right, what beliefs will you be basing it on? Especially when we're talking about a man and a woman being married or in a committed relationship, and then a man or a woman coming out of the relationship and going outside. So, and now we're talking morals, right? So when we're saying one of them, when they're coming out of what it is meant to be a committed thing between the two, and one is going outside. So what kind of belief are we using to judge the person who's coming out? What belief are we using to judge the person who's coming out, who's actually committing what we now call like adultery? Why do we actually even think that this is the thing. This is the thing that when I start talking about this is gonna be taking me to too many places, right? But what I want to know is when we start judging people doing these kind of things, like a man or a woman coming out of a marital state and going outside and having a girlfriend or boyfriend outside, what kind of, why do we judge them? Okay, that's the question. Why do we judge them? What are we basing this on? Right? Okay. Forget about for now. Forget about. If you want to talk about, if you want to talk, if you want to communicate with me about this, you can add up there in there. And hello, everyone. So, what are we basing this on? Right, the cheating and the adultery things. What are we basing this on? Okay, as a society, of course, we are meant to be living in harmony with each other, right? And sometimes some people, they do things that hurt others, and you find that the people who are left, remember that when someone does something outside the norm, like what we call adultery, the person who's left behind, if they have no say in that, or they haven't agreed to that, they will be hurt. For the fact that someone is going outside, they'll be left in there and they'll be hurt, right? They'll be hurt. Their feelings, they'll be hurt. They'll be hurt. I mean, to affect them, right? But then how are we supposed to be looking at this? Do you understand what I mean? What is the right way to look at this? Now, remember that sometimes people do certain things, they go outside because of there is lack of, and it's nothing to do with the person they're leaving behind. It is because of there is lack of with the person who is committing this act, the person who's going outside. There is lack of. So they think by going outside, they will be fulfilling that lack of. Someone out there will be able to help them fulfill that bit of themselves. Right? They are not actually thinking about the hurt that they're committing, the hurt that they are doing to someone else, the one they're leaving behind, their partners. Right? Obviously, they'll think about it when they become aware, if they become aware of it. Because at the time when they're doing it, they're thinking about their lack of. But I just want to talk about it as in when we start judging them. What are we judging them based? What do we put that judgment based on? Is it because of what we've been conditioned to believe, that a man is supposed to meet a woman, or a man supposed to meet a man, and a woman supposed to meet a woman, they're married, and then that is it. They should be the two of them. So therefore, they should not be thinking of going outside. And then if that is the case, now this is talking to us as healers. Okay, like this. It's getting dark here. Okay. Now, so I was talking about adultery because I was reading a comment, and it really made me think a lot. Really made me think a lot. And it's something that I haven't, spiritually, my people haven't actually gone into the teaching of that for me to share with you. But I just wanted to talk about it because it made me question a lot of things. So what happened? Remember that a lot of people as well, they go into these marital settings, or the nuclear kind of family thing. And they're going in this, they're committing themselves based on some fears or some responsibilities, some liabilities they think they have to, like someone thinking, okay, maybe I was playing with someone, someone got pregnant, we need to get married just to fulfill that bit. They have to be married, even though they are not, the love is not there. Or sometimes people get married, someone gets excited at that time and they're not thinking straight. They get married and they think that is it, it's supposed to be forever. And then along the line, they realize that they're in the wrong place, but they can't come out, right? I'm not making excuses. I'm just making a discussion about this because it made me think about when I was reading this comment. And some people as well. Now, this is where healers come into this. Are we as well committing? I mean, are we as well as healers who are coming in? Like someone comes and say, "Oh, I'm in love with someone and I want them. I just want them. I want them for myself and stuff like that." They come in and they want you to help. They want you to give them some mutis or whatever that people use to trick someone into seeing what they want the person to see, meaning that that person at their vulnerable point in their life, they commit, they end up getting married to someone, but not because they're willingly doing it, but because of they were in a vulnerable state at that particular time. They were not thinking straight. They were not themselves. They got married not out of their will, but because someone did something, trickery. They got married, and while they're within that marriage, they start awakening, they see themselves, they see things properly. They remember, they see what they're seeing, they realize it's not what they want. And then they commit adultery now. So, as healers who gives people mutis, are we the creator of that community, dysfunctions in our societies as well? I'm talking about when people go into adultery and we become part of it because we create it. Or let's say someone is married and then someone is dating someone who's married and they come to us healers and they want something that will take someone out of that marriage, and they manage to somehow do it because of remember that the mind trickery. Uh, Someone comes out because of whatever that they would have done. They come out of that marriage, or maybe they don't come out. They partially come out, and they start seeing someone outside, and then we look at it as adultery. Then who do we blame? Do we blame the person who came to the healer, or do we blame the healers? And as well, looking deep at it, remember that if we were practicing what we used to practice, meaning that if you are married, I'm talking now, I'm going traditional. If you are married and you and your husband, you decide that there is lack of within the marital status of your, or within the within your marriage as a husband and wife, you decide that you bring another person within the to come into the marriage, and then you make it official and stuff like that. You do it nicely, and that person fulfills the bit that is lacking within the marriage, meaning that we have those polygamies, polyandry stuff, right? And then if there is more like in few years time, there is a communication between the three of you, then you bring another person that comes in, so it becomes like many people within the marriage, right? And it was a normal thing, it was happening, it was beautiful. But then the new structures came in with the new beliefs and the new borrowed framework, I guess, is borrowed, isn't it? We adapted this new framework. And then we start using men get married to one, and then that is it. It is the end. And then what happens when people want to be what they are supposed to be, meaning that people want to live in a way that it is comfortable for them, but then because of the rules, they cannot go beyond what has been as well established and is now structured as in a way that this is part of it. And as a marriage, you have to marry one, and that is it. It is law. So what happens to those ones when they want to be themselves? What happens to them? So then what do we become? What do we become as a society? Because these are the issues that are affecting us. And the things that are affecting us are deeper than what we are seeing. Like, as in, we can say, that one is cheating. Is a married man or is a married woman is cheating. But then there is a spiritual bit as well, the spiritual bit, where there are people who are coming in to help in your spiritual path. Then what do we call those? And I'm talking about this because I was reading that comment and I thought it was judgmental to this person who was asking the question about the gift. It started with the gift. Can my boyfriend's wife steal my gift? It started with that. I didn't answer it. I thought you need to go too far with this one because it's got a lot of things and a lot of biases. Like, remember that as human beings as well, we've got these things like we are biased when it comes to things like this. Oh, what's happening there? Tobela, Tobela, Tobela. Gosh, I can't see properly. Gosh, I wanted to use, let me just use this. What's the password? Okay. How do I go to video? So I can read your messages properly. Okay. Whew, my eyes. Okay, Tovela, everything. And okay, Tovela, what? My gosh, I really can't see. Zamai, okay, GP. I'm here listening as a student, dropping in some good energy. Gogotuli, Gogotuli. Gogotuli, actually, this will be a good topic for you. You should be able to tell us because some of us we don't know how to deal with this bit. Yes, it is to do with the adultery, and we're not talking about it as in using any sort of beliefs. But if we were to use any sort of beliefs, then we have to think about what belief are we using to say people are committing adultery. What belief are we using to say that this is morally not right? Right? The behavior is morally not right. If someone goes out and then they have a girlfriend, or someone goes out, they have a boyfriend, and then they're married or in a committed relationship. So when do we call it adultery and give it a negative connotation to that, the adultery bit? When does it become negative or when does it become positive? What if all the wife and the husband have agreed that the husband or the wife will go out there to complete or to fulfill the lack of. And then us as society, when we are hearing someone talking about it, like especially like what this woman was saying, my boyfriend, right? Because remember, you say someone is your boyfriend if there is no attachment to the person, or you say this is a girlfriend if there's no attachment to that person to another. But when someone is attached to another, and then they are okay for them to be called, I'm that one's boyfriend and I'm that one's husband, right? So when does it become bad for us as society when we're looking from outside? This is deep, and this is the thing. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to talk about. I don't want to look at it as it's deep. I'm thinking about it because this person has made me think about a lot of things. When we just saying, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad. We start saying to someone, oh, you're doing bad things, you're doing bad things. But when does it become bad, and from what perspective are we using? What are we using? Okay. Oh gosh, this phone keeps on going off. What perspective are we using? Because yes, we can say something is wrong. I think if the wife and husband have both agreed and consented to polygamy or polyamory, then it is an open relationship. And while I don't agree, maybe morally okay. Yes, but remember that, yes, yes. As for me, I am for polygamy and polyandry and all those things, polyamory, all those kind of things, because I believe that is part of my, traditionally, this is how it's supposed to be, right? I'm for it. I'm one of those healers who encourage it. Unfortunately, for some of us, we are living in societies that doesn't encourage that bit, but it is part of it stops a lot of things. I'm talking about when we're not looking at it through what we have lived, the life that we have lived, and the new things that are happening with us, and circumstances, the new circumstances that we've now become accustomed to, that we now have to adjust to. I'm talking about different cultures, new systems in our lives, and different things where it's becoming difficult to think about the things that I'm talking about, the things that traditionally would have been normal, right? And as well, like a lot of people will love to do it, but because of they grow up as part of like what we talk about Christianity, like I'm talking about from South Africa, Christianity, which is different, right, from what our people were used to before, and they have to now one man, one wife, right? One man, one wife, and these are cultures that were borrowed, right? Like it was good where it was coming from. If you look at it as in trying to control society and trying to make sure that the society live according to the moral beats. I mean, their behaviors are more like they behave the way they're supposed to behave morally, right? Right? Is it morally right? Right? Depending on where this is borrowed from, the culture, where it is coming from, right? It is okay in Europe, it is how it's supposed to be. But in Africa, a man will have one, two, three, four wives, and they all would have been fulfilling the bit that they were fulfilling, right? And this is not a man just saying, I've got money, I can marry as many. No, it is the wife. Remember that this culturally was done by the wife, the first wife, thinking that there is lack of within the family setting. So there is lack of, let's look for another person to come and help us, right? And then there will be another person coming in. And then if there is lack of, because remember that as people grow, things change. The way we think about things change. And as well, my phone keeps taking me. I'll just read from here. And gosh, I do need my glasses, and I didn't bring my glasses here. Okay, let's try again. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm forgetting my son's birth date. Oh my gosh, he's not gonna be happy if I call him in. Okay, I'm in it. All right. All right. I think the wife and her. Okay, I've read that one. Gosh, how can I be my eyes be like this? It is okay. Maybe it's this phone. It's the weight is too small. It is when there is no agreement, consent, or knowledge by partners of a third or fourth or fifth party. It starts to feel like a betrayal and immorality. I get it, Meadow. I get it. I think as Africans, we come from it. The Ndlunkulu, yes, Khadi, and gosh. Ay, 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 ay. And the man, okay, Holmes, okay, my great grandfather came from such. It is just that I am possessive, me as a person. One, be positive, the positive side of polygamy, polyandry, or polyamory is that there is minimal displacement in that everyone is included in the lineage and ancestry. Yes, that is the beautiful bit of it. Yes, and yes, and yes, the negative bit, of course, is the hurt that the people who are affected by someone going outside, who are left behind, who haven't had a say in it, what we need to deal with. And as well, the problem as well with that, when people are affected by people who commit adultery, they tend to focus more on themselves, like what have I done wrong, or what could I have done to stop something like that from happening, or why didn't I see it? Things like that. You start asking questions like that when it is nothing to do with you being affected. Okay, you obviously affected, but all these things have nothing to do with you as a woman or as a man who is being cheated on within the committed relationship. It is to do with the culprit, the one who goes out and fulfill the purpose and help others out there and live a family home, and sometimes even take the food of the kids' mouth and take it outside and give it out there and forget people need to eat at home. Now that is when we're talking about morally wrong, because the whole thing is supposed to be building up, right? Building up, not bringing in all the nastinesses within the family and stuff like that. It's supposed to be a bit where this is the thing, isn't it? I don't want to be like I'm against, or I'm all for. I'm not. I'm in between in this one, because as a healer, I think that is one of the things, the dilemma, because some people come in and the issue is that I want to harm spiritually, right? Someone has invaded my space, so I want them to feel it, what it is like to come into my space without my consent, right? That is the dilemma for as a healer, right? If someone is coming and saying that, okay, the dilemma like that, right? And as well, the other women, I want, or the other men, I want him or her for myself, right? I want them out of that setting. It is just me, it's me, right? They need to come out. They need to come out. So we are faced with dilemma of, now we have issues that are affecting our societies, and as healers, we are becoming part of the problems. We are becoming part of the problems because we are creating that problem. We are creating a market for problems to exist, right? Because we provide a service. That service is saying that, remember that some people, they need to act willingly to do things, but we are saying that we need to force someone to think this particular way, therefore creating disharmony right? Because remember, the moment that we say we want someone to think this particular way, we are creating a disharmony because that person was not thinking that way. Now we are forcing them to think that particular way. And this can only happen when we find people who are not strong, because a lot of us are not strong mentally, right? If someone is not strong mentally, those things can happen. It's easy to do that. But then, like I'm saying, we become the middle man, the people who are creating these issues are us, the ones who are supposed to be talking about what we think. People are supposed to come to us and saying, how are we supposed to live with each other as a society, as a community, and stuff, as families? They're supposed to come to us. Since you're talking to ancestor spirits and guys who've got all this wisdom, so how are we supposed to live with each other? Then you've got these issues now. I've given someone this. I say, take him or take her by force. Within 7 days, they will be back to you. And then you have to go now within the community and say, our society is affected by this. There are men and women, they are not happy. There are arguments within the family. There are this happening. There are stuff like that. Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't want to talk about this topic. This person just forced me into talking about it. But this is another topic that is, it can just go and go and go and go and go. Anyway, let's see what you say. I've also come across the concept of ancestors selecting partners or soulmates. Many people also marry for reasons outside of that. Jiki jiki, the higher forces kick in and people find lovers. Yes, 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 yes. Yes. This is the thing. This is the thing, isn't it? This is what I'm saying, that if we were looking at this culturally, when I'm saying culturally, remember that I'm thinking way back. These things, people knew they exist. People can be together, but for a particular reason. Now, others will come in to fulfill another reason, and others will be there to fulfill another part of the reason. And it was done nicely, and people respected each other. There were no people like, I'm dating your husband, I'm dating your wife, I'm gonna show, right? I'm gonna show you that I'm dating there. They are not at your house, they are at mine, kind of thing, like in a way that's causing problems within, like hurting people. There was nothing like that. People were people were doing these things properly, like in the way that it builds, right? It builds. There were no like I mean, there were you people will be doing things, but you wouldn't even know they're doing things. Like they're married out there. They're the Mkulus and the Gogos out there. They are married out there, and you know that Mkulu and the Gogo, Mkulu as well. Sometimes Mkulu goes there, and the Gogo knows that Mkulu goes there. When the kids are asking, "Where is my grandfather?" Your grandfather is going to drink traditional beer there, right? Because it was not only traditional beer. The other person was fulfilling the beat from Kulu, right? Was fulfilling that beat, the beat that was lacking. There was lack of with Mkulu. It was being fulfilled there, but it was done with respect. And even there, the Gogo there will be telling Mkulu that, remember, when you finish drinking this beer, you need to go back home. And this beer, you can only drink here only. You're not drinking it on the road. You're drinking here at home. And then when you go home, you're going to reach home and you get home. Tomorrow when I'm going there to the farm or whatever they call it, Masim, right? The allotment, where they used to do their planting things. I'll ask your wife, if you came home safely at that particular time you were telling me that you were leaving. And it was done nicely. So the Gogo there will know that our Mkulu is not at home. Mkulu is drinking beer there. traditional beer in the gourd, right? And is being given nicely, sitting down there at home, nicely, properly in another. It's not being beaten by scorpions or snakes on the road, right? It's just at home doing it nicely. But now, our issues now is with these new systems that are in place that stops us from being who we are supposed to be in our original form, I mean, our identity, how we're supposed to be doing things. We are following other people's cultures. Therefore, as well as we are following it, we are leaving a bit of us behind. But that bit of us that we are leaving behind is making us behave in strange ways that is not normal to us. And we can't even control the way that we are acting around each other. We end up hating each other unnecessarily. That's what I was talking about, adultery and the morality of it. Anyway, yes, and when we are talking about it, remember that a lot of us were using our own biases, and we'll be thinking because of something we've seen something, and some of us we've seen the hurt, the pain that it was, the pain from our people who were affected by this bit, by people acting recklessly. Right? When I'm saying recklessly, is that there was no respect. People just do things that they selfishly do, and they do not think about others and others' feelings, therefore making other people feel and lose their lose that bit of themselves. Lose that bit of themselves. Remember that when people are going out there and they're leaving the wife, or sometimes they're even showing the wife that they're doing it, they really have no care. So that person's self-esteem is lowering down. And we are not talking about that bit, because that bit is just bad. People will do that bad. But as well, we are not encouraging this. There's no encouragement. We are just, I'm just talking about it. I'm just processing this. I'm processing it. And I'm just hoping that my ancestors as well, they will give me more information with regard to this. And the other bit, how I'm supposed to bring it out there. This was me reflecting on the message that the person said there, because I liked the way she replied when someone said, "This is adultery, adultery, you're committing adultery." And sometimes people do certain things for reasons that are known to them. And then when they're doing those things for reasons that are known to them, they don't think about the others who are going to be affected by them being in entanglement with their other halves. Yeah. So what do you do as a... Let me not talk about this in this. This was me reflecting. I was reflecting on adultery. I cannot even think about it in other way. Tovela, Tovela Maila, I think that's welcome, Tovela. Yes, I was just gossiping here, and I think I'm done gossiping. I've gone on it for too long, and gosh, adultery bit. This topic is something is difficult one to think about. And remember that I haven't even gone into the spiritual bit of things about people being in a committed things, and then spiritual people coming in and stuff like that. I haven't even gone into that. I was just talking about just the general adultery bit, and when do we think it is gone wrong, and when do we think it is supposed to be this other way that we think it is supposed to be. And as well, when we are saying that when we're saying this is not moral, what are we actually looking at? Where are we looking at? Where are we, like, which book are we looking into? Which book are we looking into? In our languages, in our languages, there were words that were used for things like that. And I don't, in my language, the words that were used, they sounded beautiful. They sounded beautiful. I'm talking about words that were given to people helping others fulfill the lack of. I'm talking about the right sort of words for the people who were fulfilling other people's lack of. Now, in English, it doesn't sound right. And a lot of the time we tend to blame women because I guess it's to do with women are supposed to know better. If a man goes out, we tend to look at the woman, oh, she's wrong. And then we do not look at the source, the seed. We're looking at the woman. And then when it's the woman going out there, we still are blaming the woman. But as well, remember that. Hey, why am I talking about this? I think it is Josie. It was Josie's message that has got me into thinking this too deep. I don't like thinking too deep about things like this. Sometimes the language works against us. Adultery, cheating, this partnering reminds me of shaman with this, yes, as something to think about. Yes, it's very true. It's very true. Yes, remember as well, these words, they came in for a particular reason. They came in. Remember that they have to come in with scare tactics. They have to come in with scare tactics. You have to give something and look at it negatively if you want it. Remember that some things were like especially remember that when we started joining in this new culture, remember that new beliefs comes with a culture on its own. It's not only just rewiring the mind into believing in a particular thing and stuff like that and forgetting ancestor spirits and guides, right? It's about coming with the culture. It comes with the culture on its own. So when those things comes with their own culture, therefore, the culture that we were actually accustomed to, what we were used to, the certain things that we do, they start to be given names that have a negative meaning to it, right? Names that have a negative, if they're against what every society have to recondition. It's not even recondition. The society, when you're conditioning people, when you want people to be controlled, you need to make them even think a certain way. You need to actually even push them into looking at themselves and start seeing something negative. By just looking at yourself, you're supposed to see, why am I different and stuff like that. Therefore, there's something wrong with me. That is, you start looking at yourself in a negative way. So that is now you're conditioned into seeing yourself and not liking that bit of yourself. And then when there is more to it, like now comes in with the moral bit of things, what you used to do, which was normal. Getting married, women getting excited to look for other women so they can join them into this beautiful marital status. And now there's this new thing. It has to be one woman, one man. Woo-hoo! So then who do we do? What do we do? I don't want to be the one left at home alone. So anyone who comes first, I'll just take. And it's no longer like the parents have to look into the other family and stuff like that. We just have to get married without even knowing what is happening, right? I'll just get in there first, right? So that conditioning as well affects a lot of things, right? Now you see people getting married, not intentionally wanting to do things, just because they want to fulfill as well that bit. Now we are doing something, someone can actually even marry me, and it's gonna be a beautiful, like we're even saying it, white wedding. So some people won't be able to afford that, isn't it? So I'm looking for the one who can afford it, not the one that I love. Someone who can afford that. I'm going to have two white, traditional. Now, along the way, 2 years along the way, you realize that I was getting married for the pictures. It was not like real. And then you realize you cannot do anything about it. You're really in it. There they are, the kids asking mommy, where's Papa? And, where's my Papa? Where's, I want to eat. And you can't even do anything about it. You are in a place, you did it with the wrong intentions. Now, that's where people start doing other things. Anyway, we're talking about too many things. Anyway, I think that was just that. Yes, we'll talk about the shaman and the witchcraft, witch doctors another time. Imagine me being called a witch doctor when I know very well that I'm a doctor. And I'm called a witch. Imagine that. Imagine if it was during those days that they used to call people like me, like witch doctors. Excuse me. And especially with these dreadlocks, they will just actually just put me there. I'll be there. Yeah, I'll be part of those people like they put on there to make an example of. We do not want these witch doctors in our societies. You can see even with the hair needs to be straightened, because really this you can see, this is the sign of a witch doctor in training, about to go there. Anyway, let's not get there. Anyway, that is just me. I was just reflecting on that bit about the adultery. I hope my ancestors will come in with more information with that, and then I can talk about it properly in their own way, what they think about it, because this was just me reflecting on this bit, because really we judge too much as a society. We judge too much, and we forget that a lot of these things are created by us. A lot of these social issues are created by us, especially us as well. We become part of it instead of becoming part of the help bit and taking things back to where they are supposed to be. We become part of the problem. We become problems. Oh my gosh, did I say that? Ooh, I should not say that. Hey. The Gogo Tulis will start saying, is against us doing things we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be giving the love potions out there. Remember that everything people do think they're supposed to do on their time when they're supposed to do things. I am not against anything. I am just talking about what I hate is okay, I shouldn't say that. Okay. Velagaka is a witch doctor. This is why we are scared of our gifts. We think it's becoming of the thing from Shaka Zulu. Yes, we do the tricks. It is a craft. It's a craft, because you can't do it without it being a craft. It's a craft, but then it becomes negative when remember that every time when if you want to control something, you cannot control something without making the other look bad or inferior. If you want to control it, make it look inferior so it can look up to you, right? So it's beliefs. To control one, you need to make the other one look good, and it's all everything is from there and it's good. But you, yours, it doesn't make sense, right? Because it's too strong. You cannot have two strong people standing like this. We're talking about beliefs, right? Two strong people standing side by side like this. We don't want this, right? We want to be in control. So you have to look bad so that me, I can take care of you. I can become your sugar daddy, the sugar daddy of the beliefs. So then you have problems with the sugar daddies of the real lives and the sugar mamas of the real lives. Hey, I'm going out of the way. Tobel, I think that was it. That's my night. I need to go and sleep. It's time for me to sleep. Rabots.